All right. So this is in response to Malaysia about a running plan to get your mile time down. It can be used by anyone, but this was specifically designed for you, or at least trained for the mile. So just a quick tip is if any point in the video I go too quickly, just pause and rewind, and then there's going to be some information on the screen that could be really important, so you can just want to pause the video as needed. All right, so kind of just training basics, going to use some terms, especially for a sort of workout plan. Just want to make sure we're on the same page when it comes to these terms. First, easy run or recovery run, kind of in the description. This is kind of an easy, steady pace. We call this conversational pace, meaning you can maintain a conversation during your run. So you're not running too fast that you're kind of huffing and puffing. You wouldn't be able to maintain a conversation. We got some speed work. This is going to really help in terms of leg power and leg strength, which would be really important for like a kick at the end of a race. But having some speed is going to be really important for any race, and definitely in a mile. A tempo or threshold run, I'm going to use these kind of interchangeable, although some would maybe say they're a little bit different. But for my purposes, I'm going to say tempo run is this comfortably hard pace where you're running maybe 85, 90% of like a cross country type of pace. But it's going to be a sort of challenging pace, but you're not all out like a race pace. And threshold kind of just refers to you're kind of right below that lactate threshold where, at the end of a race, you kind of feel that sort of burning feeling in your legs, or you're really sort of just gassed, and this is going to be short of that. Then intervals would be these sort of repetitive runs where you're maybe running like 6 by 200 meters. So the intervals are going to be sort of these are repeats, and it's not just the distance that is important with intervals, but it's also the rest. All right, let's get into it. Before we get into sort of training plan one is just this cool resource online through, it's called a running calculator. It's through this runfastcoach.com website, and you can plug in your sort of target or goal time for a distance, and you can put your time in. So I put a 1 mile, 8-minute goal time. Whatever it is for you, you can change it. I just want to use this as an example, and then gives you race splits. So this would be like if you were running an even pace, which is not likely to happen, but gives you a gauge of sort of like what you would need to maintain. So for an 8-minute mile pace, you're looking at a little bit less than a 1 minute 200 meter or a 2-minute 400 meter pace. Will set you up for 8-minute mile. So if you can't run, a 2-minute 400 meters, then this sort of like workout plan is going to help you get to that pace and get your body be able to hit that pace or even faster than that pace. So here's a schedule suggestion. I'll kind of go through the first week because you can pause this video. Is you can see Monday has interval training. So we're doing 6 by 200 meters, 3-minute rest between each one. If you need to go a little bit longer rest, that's okay, especially if your level of fitness, is a work in progress. And the 200 meters would be at your sort of like mile race pace. So your body would feel, oh, what does it mean to run 8-minute mile? All right, so I'm going to do a 1 minute 200 meters. And this also means that if you can't be at a track, you can, from that sort of pace calculator that 200 meters would be roughly a 1 minute of sort of running. Tuesday is a distance or recovery run. So that's kind of self-explanatory. Wednesday, that's our threshold run. So for this one, I wrote a 17-minute sort of run where, again, you're like 85, 90%. Kind of close to what you would be for like cross-country pace. I don't mean like your goal mile pace. And the point of this is to kind of get your body to go faster than that sort of distance or recovery pace. Thursday is rest or cross training, so good opportunity to work on core or do other sort of aerobic activities to work on aerobic fitness without doing more mileage, which could be taxing on your body. Friday, I got a speed workout. You can see 3 sets of 3 by 40 meter sprints. So that means you're gonna do a 40 meter sprint, and then you'll take a 3-minute rest, do another 40 meter sprint, 3-minute rest, and then a third one, 40-minute sprint. And then after that first set, you would take a 5-minute rest and then do it all over again. And then a 5-minute rest and do it all over again. So you have 3 sets of 3 times 40 meter sprints. Saturday, another distance or recovery run, where again, this sort of conversational pace, and you can throw some striders at the end, maybe 40 or 50 meters, sort of striding out at that sort of like goal mile pace. And then Sunday, another rest day. But again, I would say do a little cross training to work on some sort of strength of some of those muscle groups you're going to want to develop to help you out with your race. Week 2, very similar, just kind of changing some of the distances or rests. You can see on Wednesday, I have a fartlek run. It's a Swedish word for speed play. So you would do like a 24-minute run and then do some pickups within that 24 minutes. So maybe you do like, after like 6 or 7 minutes of conversational pace, you would do a 1-minute pickup, kind of move a little faster than that threshold run pace, and do 6 of those. And after each one, you would maybe do a 2-minute jog, so you're back at that sort of conversational pace. So you just kind of change in your pace throughout this sort of like distance run. And then week 3, again, you got a threshold run. I would say with the threshold runs, don't just do 18 minutes of that sort of threshold, that's sort of like 85 to 90% of cross-country race pace, but you're working on doing like a 5 or 6 minute sort of jog before, and then a 5 or 6 minute jog after. So you kind of bookend in that threshold run with some just short kind of warm up and cool down to get your body ready to do all that. All right, so again, you can just pause this if you want to see in more detail. One thing I will note is as you progress and your fitness gets better in week maybe 4 or 5 or 6, that you can still do the same interval training where you did like 4 or 5 or 6 200 meters, but instead of taking a 3-minute or 4-minute rest between each, you only do maybe a minute rest, or you rest the time you ran. So if you ran a 48-second 200 meters, you would take a 48-second rest. And then it's kind of just, it's the same workout of 5 or 6 200s, but the rest changes the workout completely. And I'd say, the rest can get lower as your fitness gets better. All right, let's move on. Dynamic warm-up. So again, you can just pause this. This is stuff we did during cross country and track. So hopefully all this, or most of it, is familiar to you. You can always Google something if you need to, or let me know. And then just kind of translate in some of the abbreviations I have. D/B means down and back, whereas like if it just has a D next to it, just means down. So kind of one way versus a 2-way. So like the 4-way ankles was down and back. So you go out with the 4-way ankles and come back with it. Or like karaoke where you do down and back. So you go one way and come back. Again, you can just pause it if you want to see it in more detail. But warm-up's going to be really important, especially before like a speed workout or interval workout, or even a threshold run, because it's going to get your body ready for that. And the other good thing about a lot of the stuff we built into the sort of dynamic warm-up is those different high knees and butt kickers are going to help out with muscle strength. So this is something that's going to be really targeting these sort of muscle groups that you're going to be using in the race. I mentioned those sort of rest days and cross training. So, if your body's completely sort of like gassed and you need just a day of rest, that's fine. But if you can build in some of this cross training, it's going to really sort of accelerate your sort of training and definitely help out with muscle strength. So you can work on muscle strength. That could be meaning doing some lunges, some squats, so many different types you can do. Burpees I haven't listed here, but you can also work on cardiovascular fitness. That'd be like going for a bike ride or swimming. We're doing a HIIT workout. If you remember that from cross country, we did the HIIT workout where we did like a 1 minute of that sort of like split stance squat, and then we did the burpees, and we did the high knees, and then we did the jumping jacks. We did 1 minute of each. Then we only took 12-second rest. Then we did 50 seconds, and we kept going down until it was only 10 seconds. So basically, it's like short bursts of an activity followed by really short rest. It's really gonna get your heart rate going without doing any mileage, so you don't have to worry about sort of like the wear and tear that comes with elevating your miles, and still working on your cardiovascular fitness in a really efficient way. And then the other things I mentioned in terms of running is working on some of these. Your core and your glutes are going to be these muscles that you need to recruit, especially when you're getting tired and your form's going to start breaking down in a race. If you have a strong core and strong glutes, you can recruit these, and it'll really help out with maintaining form, which will help you in terms of your race time. So core exercises, you're probably familiar with the planks, so many different kinds of planks. And then from cross country and track, we did the Copenhagen's, the Nordic curls, frog sit-ups, and there's so many different types of crunches you can do. Same thing with glutes. We worked on glute bridges and the single leg raised glute bridges, hip thrusts, and all these are designed, you don't even need any weights. Hip thrusts, to find something heavy to put on your hip when you do these hip thrusts. All right, hopefully this is helpful, and just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll put some links in this YouTube posted. All right, thank you.